So we're continuing through the rest of Snowpeak Ruins. Is that what it's called? The ruins part? Why is it called ruins? Like, maybe the outdoors area is actually just a part of the building where the roof collapsed. Like, you can also see a collapsed roof in this room. So maybe that's why it's a ruins? When I think ruins, I think, like, Greek ruins, where there's no roofs left. This is very clearly a mansion with at least 2 people living in it. So it's kind of weird. I don't like how long it takes pushing the cannons and spinning them around. And why can't you skip that cutscene? Like, I swear, practically every cutscene in the game that you want to skip, you can't. And you want to skip it because you see it so many times. But yeah, one of the mandatory puzzles of this dungeon is getting the cannonballs to various areas. And that's how you activate this cannon. It's really satisfying getting rid of that frost breath thing with the cannonball things. And you do it again here. It just takes a bit too long to make it spin around. I know it's realistic for it to turn that slowly, but I just wish it happened faster. But you need to destroy it because it's blocking a ladder that you need to climb up to get to progress. Or, no, I think it's blocking a door that you need to get through to progress, not a ladder. Or maybe it's both. I guess the Yetis don't mind the cold weather that the mansion constantly exists in. Why is this area of the world cold anyways? What is making Snowpeak cold? Because it seems to be right next to Zora's domain, at the exact same elevation of it. So why is it freezing cold while Zora's domain seems to be at the same temperature and climate as the rest of the world? Like, this area seems to exist in perpetual winter for no reason. At least with the cold area in Four Swords Adventures. At least with the cold area in Four Swords Adventures, they explained it as a curse being put on the area to make it eternally winter. So that made sense, especially considering that it was right next to a desert. Why would a desert and a cold area exist so close together? But this game has the same problem. The cold province is right north of the desert province. Like, I can understand the desert province being a desert because maybe, like, there's mountains and the moisture is robbed from the desert by those mountains. Like, the clouds can't get over the mountains, so all the rain goes to the other provinces. I get that, since the desert seems to be surrounded by deserts, by mountains, but still. The Snowpeak area really makes no sense. And this area wasn't very fun to fight through. Why is there a church in a Zelda game? I was able to tolerate it more because I was able to tolerate it in Link to the Past and the Sanctuary because the area had a beautiful stained glass window and music. And like it had a sage. Like it felt more fully integrated into the world of Hyrule. This is just some random Christian church in a Zelda game for no reason. I used to think as a kid that you had to slowly walk alongside her as she slowly walked to the big key door, but no. So again, like the game did that with the pregnant lady as well at the beginning of the game. I used that entirely by accident, but it does go to show you how strong the Immortal Jaw is, I guess. But you automatically move from your position when you use it, so you can potentially walk into an enemy. It's a good thing they removed, like, touch damage in this game. Like, you can walk into an enemy and that's not gonna hurt you. She moves so slowly. Like, seriously, that must be excruciatingly boring for her. Especially considering, like, how long did it take her to waddle all the way to where we saw her? Like, Not to mention the fact that the soup made her recover insanely quickly. Like, I know that it's superb soup, and like it's about as good as a red potion. I honestly like it a lot better than red potion because it looks so delicious and healthy. Like, it's got cheese in it and stuff. It must taste really good. Are there soup in the world that have cheese in them? I mean, aside from, does cheese fondue count as cheese, as soup? I only know of it because of Harvest Moon. This is a creepy scene. And the way her face looks, a bit unnecessary for a Zelda game. Like, a jump scare moment in a non-horror game. I guess that was the point, but like, this does, like, not since the fire dungeon have we seen a mirror shard actually possessing a person. Well, the monkey boss in the forest dungeon was also possessed, but it's not like you ever talked to him. Even when you have the ability to talk to animals as a wolf, you never get to talk to him, and it does establish his character. So you don't really care that he's possessed. But here you have a likable character, I guess, and she gets possessed. And that goes to show you that the mirror shards are evil for no reason. Seriously, why are the mirror shards evil? Are they made of the fused shadows? Are they made from the same material? It looks like it. Like, were they conjured up by the interlopers? I thought it was a mirror made to seal people into the Twilight Realm. How did people even know the Twilight Realm existed in the first place so they could seal people into it? That first phase of the boss wasn't fun, dealing with ice physics with a slowly moving Link that's moving really slowly because of the ball and chain he's forced to rely on. But it gets worse. Much worse. In fact, this might be the worst boss in the game. Again, like, they're doing a thing like with Spider Ganon in Wind Waker. The camera was a lot better for this. I mean, sure, you can see where she's going to appear in the reflection in the ice, but because the camera isn't completely a top-down perspective, showing Link from all the way above, it doesn't show you the entirety of the arena all at once, at all times. Like, one of the biggest problems with this boss that ultimately ruins it is the terrible camera. I have no idea where it's going to land, and then it rises up before I'm able to attack her. I don't know where it's going to land again. If you could see the entirety of the arena at all times, like in Spider Ganon's fight, then it would be a lot more acceptable, because you would always know where exactly she was going to land, rather than always being caught by surprise and being cheated out of a hit because she's only on the ice for such a tiny amount of time. Another thing is the ice physics make you move around so badly. It's like, bad controls and bad camera do not make a fair challenge. And that's the entirety of the challenge. It didn't even hit me. It fell right beside me. Why did it knock me over? What, does it cause a shockwave on what looks like it should be very thin ice that we're standing on? Why isn't the ice breaking? Especially with all of the impact of all of the ice crystals falling onto it from a high height. Like, this ice looks pretty thin considering we're able to see through it and like see a reflection in it. Well, we're not really able to see through it. It looks pretty cloudy. But still, like, this boss is just a definition of cheap. You have no way of knowing where she's going to fall unless you're lucky and the camera happens to show you where she's going to fall before she does. But the camera doesn't always show you the entirety of the floor at all times. And you're forced to constantly rely on this weapon that makes you move around really slowly, sticking in one place. And meanwhile, she can just fly around the entirety of the arena at will. And like, when you first take out the ball and chain, the enemies can often get hit by it even before you throw it. But I don't feel like that really helps me that much in this boss. Like, I feel like I have to throw it at her, and that takes an extra second for no reason whatsoever. Why is there a swinging around option at all when that doesn't help me? Because the range on the ball and chain feels extremely short range, considering how long the range was with the mini-boss that I fought. So swinging around you is basically useless, so I don't think that that should be an option. I should just be able to instantly throw it, considering that it has such a tiny range. Just nothing about this boss is fun whatsoever. Bad ice physics, bad camera. You have no way of knowing where she's gonna show up. And, like, you can break the ice crystals, but she's just gonna summon more and waste your time with the cutscene that you can't skip at that. There's an infinite rupees glitch in this game. Not that it really matters since the game throws so much money at you anyways, but here it is. You need a claw shot, 20 rupees, and access to the River Ride minigame. Oh, another glitch that involves the River Ride. Huh. Go on a trip downriver, get at least 26 points shooting targets, and then when Link arrives at the small platform at the edge of his trip, equip the claw shot, jump into the water, and swim towards the waterfall. L target and point the claw shot towards the waterfall, swim left, and you'll clip through the wall. Keep swimming and fall. When Link respawns, he'll be back in the canoe and the Zora will be speaking to him. Finish the dialogue with her, claim the rupees, and repeat. Like, that's a pretty glaring oversight. Like, you just clip through the waterfall after doing a River Ride minigame. Like, it's always struck me as really weird that you can never go through that River Ride area unless you're either being carried by the bird or in the canoe. Like, you can't go through it normally no matter what. Like, you try to go through it through Upper Zora's River, and it's blocked off by some stupid wall. Like, I guess that's the point. She wants to restrict people so they can only go through that area with her. I would have liked to at least be able to swim through it. It looks like there's some land you can stand on in it, but it's not really, you can't really stand on it. And again, every time Midna talks after a boss fight, it feels completely worthless. I already know. She's just saying the obvious. Like, I swear, she says the obvious just as badly as Navi does. The only thing that she makes up for it with is her bitchy personality, and that mostly goes away at the beginning of the game. This drags out for too long, but it is sweet and heartwarming. So I guess they just found the mirror shiny and pretty, and they brought it to Mansion because of it. So let me get this straight. Zant smashed the mirror, and it went into pieces. And instead of those pieces just falling to the ground right in front of the mirror, they magically flew into the sky and scattered all around the world. Now, I don't think they did that on their own. I don't think Zant would just leave them there if they did just fall in front of the mirror. So I'm pretty sure that Zant just intentionally put them in different areas. Except for the mirror, which this Yeti just found. But yeah, you get a bunch of hearts and a heart container just from their love. Proving that canonically in Zelda universe, hearts and heart containers can be created by love. So it's not like the hearts you get from enemies in jars are literal hearts. They're just condensed love energy. Just a magical representation of love. Alright. So what about the rupees then? I get that people drop rupees, but why do people drop rupees in all of the areas that they drop in? Like dungeons. I'm just assuming that that's just the goddesses rewarding you for being a hero by summoning rupees for you magically. Another cheap thing about this is that, like, the reason that I crashed into that wall that I just jumped onto is because I didn't realize that I would crash into it as a wall and I wouldn't just be able to snowboard up it. But yeah. Like it's weird. The Zoras and the Gorons aren't afraid of you at all when you're wolf, and neither are the Yetis, but... Okay, this is bullshit. The physics here and the controls here are terrible. Again, like... And this, I swear, she is rubber banding AI. I swear, she accelerates faster than you do, and that's inherently cheap. It's like the Johnny races in Sonic Rush Adventure. At least give me the option to upgrade myself so I can go faster. This literally took me the entire in-game game. Hope you're at least enjoying the music though. This is Ice Cap Act 3 of Snowboarding for Sonic Adventure. Wouldn't it have been cool if this had actually played in the actual game? But yeah, this minigame's inherently cheap because of how slippery the controls are when you're turning. And like, honestly, I love snowboarding in this game, but the controls aren't very good. I was only able to land on the tops of these trees consecutively in a previous recording that I had to cut out. And like, you'll constantly fall off the edge to your death and lose because you're too far to the right. And then she just speeds ahead of you. She always takes that shortcut. She cheats. It's good that you can attack her with your sword and make her spin around. It feels really dickish, but it is very cathartic considering how annoying it is having this race over and over again. Like, it turned from night to day, so time does still pass even during the minigames, which is cool. Don't know why there are still areas in the game that time never passes in though.